In Oblivion, the Dark Brotherhood is at the height of its power. With cells across the Empire's heartland, it well and truly has dominion. The extent of the guild's control is made clear by the fact that, although the authorities know they exist, they are powerless to do anything. The Count of Shadenhall, for instance, is threatened with death if he ever revealed the Brotherhood's base in the city. But there are flaws, plot holes and idiotic NPCs who mar this otherwise impressive organisation. Lucien Lachance makes a few questionable decisions throughout the story. Most prominent was his order to purge the Shadenhall Sanctuary. Lucien believed that there was a traitor within the organisation, specifically the Shadenhall chapter. A tactful approach would have been to spy on the various members of the cell to determine the betrayer. But no, the sane thing to do, according to Lucien, is kill a dozen skilled assassins who had in some cases been loyal to the Brotherhood for centuries. Perhaps if a few members were corrupt, this approach would be somewhat viable, but to drastically overreact and murder your own skilled employees for one person's crimes is utter madness, as well as bad business. From a gameplay point of view, this mission is legendary. There are a variety of interesting ways you can take down your former colleagues, from planting a poisoned apple in their pocket to slashing them in their sleep. However, it cannot be denied that this mission could have been better justified. There should have been a more apt premise for murdering the entire workforce. The dead drop system is both inconvenient and insecure. Once a silencer for Lucien Lachance, the player acquires contracts by going to dead drop locations that contain their orders. Firstly, imagine the inconvenience of hiking across half of Cyrodiil each time to get your orders. Not only does this waste time, as travelling from one extremity of Cyrodiil to the other must take weeks, it makes it difficult for the silencer to stay on top of their contracts. There must be a year's worth of contracts in backlog. It probably takes a week at least to complete a contract, on average, on top of the few weeks it takes to travel from each dead drop to the next. Secondly, the main quest itself reveals how easy it is for the dead drop system to be compromised. Matthew Bellamont simply followed Lucien Lachance to the first dead drop, and from then on was able to swap it, and thus able to con the player into fulfilling half a dozen false contracts before he was eventually stopped by the speaker. Although the Brotherhood has immense influence over those in power, it doesn't seem apt to place their hideouts in obvious locations like they do. In Skyrim it's bad enough. The ominous black door of the Dawnstar Sanctuary is 20 meters away from the nearest house, whilst the Falkreath abode is on the doorstep of a city. But in Oblivion, the Shadenhall Sanctuary is even more conspicuous. It's actually within a city. Although there's no black door on the street corner, the abandoned house that the sanctuary is beneath is incredibly suspicious. In a city where property is probably highly sought after, a house that has been abandoned and unrenovated for decades would inevitably raise questions. There's also the issue of how the assassins leave the hideout unseen. They could do so under the cover of darkness, but that's inconvenient in itself. There must be times when the brothers and sisters leave during the day. Not only does this make the supposedly abandoned house seem unabandoned by passers-by, the fact that a main exit is up a well makes matters even worse. Just imagine you're strolling through Shadenhall town centre and you see someone climbing out of a hole next to an abandoned house. It's not hard to connect the dots and assume that something fairly dodgy is going on. In sum, although Oblivion's Dark Brotherhood is superior to the 5th game, its questline is more interesting and generally makes more sense, there are plot holes and quests with questionable premises that mar this otherwise brilliant questline. Hopefully in The Elder Scrolls 6 we'll see a Dark Brotherhood with a hideout that's actually inconspicuous. Just before I end this video, I want to let you guys know that I now have a t-shirt for sale on my channel if you want it. I have to warn you though, only certified Elder Scrolls geniuses can wear it. I don't think it's yet displayed on the store on my YouTube channel, but it will be in the future. If not, just go on Teespring and search for Avarti. Anyway, thanks again and I'll see you in the next one.